There was a comment on styling like winter outfits. There was a comment saying like, hey, can you do like something on alternative makeup? And I'm like, I can't. So this is kind of like a companion video to the last one. Ignore all of my pants. Our dryer is broken, so they're hanging up right there. This is part of the outfit. The style is like grunge. It's messy, really focused on the eyes, not so much the lip. First thing you start off with is going to be a primer. You have a couple of different types of primer. I am working on getting a like black primer just because a lot of my eyeshadows are black, but I do have a clear one right now. This is Upside Down. This is Sunset Makeup. I've only really tried their primer. I don't have any of their eyeliners or anything like that, but their primer works pretty well. It's not like great, like it's not like an all day last. I don't think it's the primer's fault. I just have such hooded eyelids that no matter what I put in there, it's going to do the same thing. So I kind of just use my finger, just pat it around, wait for it to dry out a little bit. I'll put primer under the eye as well. I don't own foundation. I don't own concealer. I just find that because I don't, oh, I gotta shave my sides. Just because I don't wear either concealer or foundation all that often, it just tends to make my skin break out a lot, so I just tend to avoid it. For the eyes, I only own two eyeshadow palettes. I am working on getting like a rainbow one. This one is the holy grail for like if you're doing any kind of gothic makeup. I've used and abused this palette and dropped it so many times that I gotta be careful because some of the shadows like pop out. These are all the shadows. There's two different shades of black. There's a gray, there's a white, there's three really fine glitters in white, silver, and black, and then two thicker, more holographic glitters. I love them. Don't use the chunkier glitters just because my eyes don't like them, but the fine glitters are beautiful. And the other one is Attack on Titan themed. This is my neutral palette. If you're darker than me, 90% of these shades aren't going to work for you. So if you are looking to get into a neutral palette, I recommend getting a neutral palette. It mostly caters to your skin tone because these are going to be the things that you blend into your skin, or if you're trying to contouring of the eyes, or like some of these shadows I even use for like really quick contour because I don't own a contour. I don't own a lot of things for like a makeup guru. My entire makeup kit can fit into this one bag. That's how much makeup I own, despite, you know, loving it. Like, I was into 2016 beauty YouTube, but not anymore for a variety of reasons. I use three brushes when I'm doing almost all of my eyeshadow looks. A smaller, really dense, pointy one, a flat, fluffy, and then a flat one, and then sometimes I also use the really itty bitty like point brushes. I believe these are from Elf, is where most of these ones are from, and then these ones I'm pretty sure I got off Amazon like years ago, so I don't think they actually had a brand. It says BS Mall, if that means anything to anybody, but I don't think it matters too much on the specific brand of brush that you're using. We're gonna go in with a little bit of red and a little bit of gore, and this is gonna go in with the dense pointy brush, and we're essentially gonna pack that shit onto our eyes. This is why I don't use big fluffy brushes for a lot of the grunge looks, just because we need so much of that black shadow that getting a big fluffy blending brush for most of these works is just taking more time to do the same amount of stuff. Now, because I have hooded eyelids, if I open my eyes, the placement is a lot different than when I close it. For what I start out with, pack as much shadow onto my eye as possible, and then close my eyes and adjust the shape. So I'll relax my eyes and blend it out. And I'm not afraid of going like pretty much to my eyebrow just because it gives that same effect. Now that we've got everything packed onto our eyes, we have that like starting shape for the outer eye. We're gonna take the flat brush and we're gonna go in under our eye. We're gonna go about to here. See how adding that on helps to like really carve out those eyes? And we're about to put all of like the rest of the glitter on. If you want to do another step, if you're trying to make it more like pretty and blend it out, I would take a little bit of the gray and blend out the edges, but since we're going for that grungy feeling, I like it a little bit messy, and if you're going for grunge, the little fallout spots, just leave them. Just leave them. It's supposed to look intentionally messy, and fallout spots are great for it looking a lot more like fucked up without having to actually like, you know, do something to fuck up your face. We're gonna go in with Panic, which is the silver shade right in here, just straight in with our fingers, and we're gonna go right here where that like the inner corner of your eye and a little bit further than that. Not touching this middle section, but just right in that inner corner with your finger. I've always found, like, obviously if you're doing makeup on a different person, it's gonna be a little bit different, but I've always found that the finger is so much better for putting shadows on, especially shimmery. I think it's because like the natural oils of your hands mixed together, which is why people will put like a little bit of like setting spray or water onto their brushes. But I just go straight in with the finger. Now, with my middle finger, we're gonna go in with Terror, which is the black shimmer shade, and that is the one that we're gonna put in our middle. And now, since our unpointer finger still has that silver on, we can go back in and blend that just a little bit more. That way, it mixes together really nicely. But you see the difference between the blended shadow right here and the strictly silver one? We want that bit of a gradient that you see when you lift up your eyebrow. Obviously, if you're trying to go for more like uncanny valley, which is a whole topic in of itself, more uncanny, like if you do like this split. And then what you can do if you want to add another little bit of oomph to it, take your pinky, which is your small finger, into that white shadow, and then you just press it on into that inner corner. And now you're gonna take that little flat brush, the really flat thin one, and to take that white shadow and then just blend it under the eye. And now you have a really grunge like eye look. Obviously now that we'll go in with eyeliner. We'll tight line right in here. So I like to go in with the brown because it still gives that tight line, like that waterline tight line effect, without having your eyes like visibly appear smaller. You just want to be really careful around the skin of your eyes. I push down with my cheek and not so much on my eye because that eye skin is very delicate. But see how it's like a very subtle difference between the two. But it does like change it a little bit. Ooh, I've got shadow all over my face. Now here is where you're gonna go in with a little bit of liner. I have a Moon Water liner from Holograve Cosmetics. Because this eye look is so very dark, I don't go in with eyeliner just because the effect is already there. I mean, if I go in with eyeliner, if when I blink, it's just gonna eat up all of that very little lid space that I have. But this is where you would go in with it. Do the rest of your makeup as is. I'm gonna go in with like just a touch of lipstick, like just on the inner parts, just to help smooth out my lips, just because it's dry as fucking hell here. I might have to end up getting like lipstick just to show off like a concept for makeup looks, even if I don't necessarily wear them. But, like the ombre lips would look so good with this. Mess up the hair. This is the completed eye look. On to the next one. For the goth makeup, we're gonna lean very much into more trad goth with like the really sharp lines. I'm gonna tell you something, and you have to promise not to tell anyone else, okay? Whenever I put goth in my YouTube titles, I'm lying. It's for the algorithm. I know this is really disappointing to everybody, but it's not that I don't listen to goth music. If we wanted to be technical about what type of alternative I am, the answer would be folk, and I am into pop music, and yet I look like this. And it's not that I don't listen to more alternative genres. Like, if we looked at my Spotify Wrapped, it would be a lot of rock. I grew up on 80s metal, but I also grew up on Disney pop. It's kind of a mismatch of genres, but in my heart of hearts, I'm lying whenever I call myself a goth. I am gothic. I don't think I have enough of goth street cred to be truly considered goth. Day-to-day life, I don't call myself a goth, but for the YouTube algorithm, it requires searchable terms, and searchable terms are goth and grunge. And if you came here because you searched either goth or grunge, leave it in the comments down below. I would love to know what you were searching for. Now, for a lot of goth makeup, they tend to have that white foundation or ashier foundation to give that full like dead look. I again don't own foundation. It's just more of a hassle than anything else, especially since I don't go out too often. It's either to work or to school. I don't think I would get in trouble for wearing full goth makeup to school, at least for going to like beauty school and cosmetology school wise. I function really, really quickly if I have no distractions, and a full face of makeup is a distraction for me, which sucks because I enjoy doing it, but it's definitely something that I do pretty much only for events, just because it itches after, and not like in the sense of an allergy, in the sense of autism. If you're sticking around on the channel for any kind of like makeup tutorials, a lot of it is just, there's no thought process. It's fully just, okay, cool, we're gonna put this on my face right now. Oh, shit, I forgot my favorite part of doing gothic makeup. I'll load up my like big old fluffy blending brush and then put the palette right there. This is oops. There's probably a better way to do this, but you know the moon water liner that I've been talking about? This is where this like I actually focus in on, because there's like two things that I do basically. You're gonna get your natural palette, you're gonna find two colors, you're gonna find one that's a lot deeper than your skin tone and one that's close enough to your skin tone. You're gonna go in with this brown right here. You're gonna pat this along the outer corner of your eye. Very light hand. Don't pack it in, just pat it in. It's not the black. We're not trying to make it darker side. So one that's closer to your skin color, but just like a tad lighter. That's gonna go in the inner corner of our eye. Just lighten up all that depth that we created, because it's essentially a little hint of color. You're gonna take that, pinch it. The fluffy brush is real flat. Then just go under the eye. It's not like subtle, but it's closer to that like no makeup. You're gonna take the cap of your moon water liner. You're gonna just put a little, tiniest little bit of water into it. I do this a lot, which is why the cap is so dirty. It doesn't come like that, I promise. And then you're gonna take a brush that's really pointed. I'm gonna take that, and then I always start, relax the face, take it on the outer corner, and then go. If you don't have hooded eyes, I don't know how to do your makeup. Now the difficult part is taking this in. Take it and then go to where and draw like a straight line in. Now what happened there is like when I drew it in, I opened my eyes, a little bit escaped. So I blinked and it went up, but it does create a little bit more alternative line than like a straight. What I've also found is if you make the wing bigger than what you want it and then you go in with like the eyeliner erasers, and I've always found it's easier to take stuff off and refine it than try to make it like perfect. And because I don't wear foundation, I'll go in with either like a little makeup wipe and then go in and take off that extra that's on my cheeks. Like obviously compared to like itty bitty cat eye wings, like these are very much bolder and dramatic than those, but compared to like full goth, it's subtle. Thank you very much for being here. I very much appreciate it. I will see you guys later. Bye.